What's up guys, Gorst here for another build. Today we're looking at Tectonic Slam, my own take on Tectonic Slam. This time we're going to use Immortal Call permanently on us. This is how we're going to mitigate Abyss's damage. Why you say? Well, because even if you're a Juggernaut, you've probably seen other people running Abysses, you're getting still one shot by some stuff. There's no real way to mitigate Abyss's damage to a point where you're not gonna get one shot by stuff. The only way you can do it is by making it useless with Immortal Call. At this point you don't take any physical damage, so it doesn't matter how much mitigation you have, how much Abysses makes you harder to makes you easier to kill, it will still bypass it. It's making you invulnerable basically. The only thing that's going to hurt you is elemental damage. With this build we're over 6,000 health, 6,000 life. It will be enough to make us survive any one shot in the game. You can still die, there's still stuff that can kill you if you stay on it too long, because our leech is not out of this world, but still it's pretty damn strong. I don't think I've done anything as strong this league. It's the strongest build I've done. Tanky, and of course the clear speed as always with me is incredible. If you don't have a good clear speed, there's no point doing a boss killer unless you want it really cheap. As you can see from the video, clear speed pretty good, boss killing insane. We've got over 2 million DPS on Shaper. We don't need more than that. We could still stack damage, but there's no point. I prefer to go as tanky as possible. All of our gem slots are taken on this. Still makes the build cheap. It's not expensive, guys. There's the most expensive thing I have on me right now. It's the Onigoroshi. This build is entirely doable on a non-Onigoroshi. I've tried with two-handed weapon. A rare one would do the trick. Personally, I think it's cheaper to invest in an Onigoroshi. You got your 6-link right away. You know what you pay for. If you get for a decent rare item two-handed, you'd probably go over the top number with it. But yeah, no, I don't think it's still worth it because you'll have to 6-link it. But if you do get your hands on a crazy two-handed rare weapon, you can do this build, and I will probably link the paste bin for a two-handed version of this build. Other than that, as you can see, Shaper viable, of course. Killed him deathless. We're talking Guardian, easy peasy. Hydra is a joke. Minotaur can't kill us. Phoenix, watch out for the Phoenix Cry, because it drops your resistance pretty low, and his Phoenix spell are going to kill you. Other than that, pretty much invulnerable on the entire line. This Hydra map is lagging a bit. Recording and playing this character is a bit heavy for my computer, but don't worry guys, it doesn't lag at all when you're playing. It's super smooth. The explosions are just a lot to render. After this video, we're gonna check the build guide. If you want to skip ahead and see how much damage we do to all Guardians and Shaper, just skip up to the end of the build guide. You will see the fight with the Shaper and the Guardian. Shaper was done deathless. The only thing that killed me was one of his little mini boss before him. I took a slam in the face without any endurance charge. I think it was a stupid move. It was a mistake on my part. Shaper was a breeze. You're not gonna have a problem with him. Yeah, and this Hydra either. You can see like he's dropping pretty fast. There's absolutely nothing to escape. You just face tank pretty much everything. The normal stuff, the Phoenix Cry and everything, you skip it, but the rest you can tank it. All right, let's start this build guide time. Alright guys, so let's take a look at this thing. We're going to start by stating all the items needed for the build. We're talking about Onigoroshi, Abysses, Chaos Heart, and Eye of Innocence. Those are all the necessary items for the build that you need to have to make the magic work. The rest is a bit more optional, you can play with it. Basically, the synergy, how it works is that you will hit yourself with your Eye of Innocence, okay? Every time you ignite an enemy. And we always ignite enemy because we crit. So, You get damage, you proc your immortal call, and since we're always at maximum endurance charge, we're going to have like a 3 to 4 seconds immortal call. This will in fact also put us up to our maximum endurance charge as soon as another hit hits, and we hit about 8 times per second. So that means that every second we land 8 strike on at least one enemy, which makes us always perma endurance charge. So we're always topping between 5 and 7 endurance charges. And in the meantime, we're always in immortal call state, because we're always top and we're always doing damage to ourselves. Sometimes the enemy will proc the immortal call, but a scratch will pop it up. So yeah, Items of Innocence, and this is what enables us to use Abysses, okay? Normally, I do not recommend Abysses in any build, especially melee builds, because other than super good players like Mathil or other people who are really good at doing boss mechanics, you're gonna get killed because all the physical damage they do is upgraded, and even with endurance charge and all the mitigation you can imagine, it's not enough to mitigate Abysses. The way the game makes the calculation is made at the end, so even by mitigating all the damage, it still won't be enough to prevent you from getting killed or one-shotted or whatever. It's normally it's shit. But since we're playing Immortal Call permanently, this thing, we don't even feel it. Okay, it's like it's not there. Like, I don't remember. You're gonna see my Minotaur video if you stick up to the end. He basically does nothing. I got unlucky hit by double rocks and I still didn't die. Why? Because I'm immortal. He can't do any physical damage to me, so it doesn't matter how much my reduction is. And even if you get bad luck, we got 6,200 health. It's more than enough to soak any damage that could come from like RNG's screwing us. So yeah, that's the mechanic and the core items. After that, what we're going for, ruby rings, not necessarily, but what you want is physical damage, fire, elemental damage with attack. As you know, you can notice I have absolutely no elemental resistance on my rings. Actually, I don't have a lot of elemental resist at all in this particular build, because we're always at 5 or 7 endurance charge. I balance my resistance around that. I take into consideration that I always will have 5 endurance charge, so I don't need to max them. So that's pretty sweet, because especially early leagues, getting items with high endurance, high elemental resistance with some DPS is pretty rough. So we got those rings. Shock nearby enemies, I highly recommend it on any build out there that you don't already shock in some way. It's insanely strong. I think it's like 20% upgrade of DPS on the boss you're fighting, and it's for 4 seconds. You gotta stick on him though. With your Tectonic Slam, you can kind of be further away than you would like Cyclone or another melee build, but if you're shocking him and you're in focus mode, try to stick to him so it actually applies. But this is a must. This is what you need. And also putting life on every piece of gear you got. That's why we use KM. Do you have to use KM? No. The best in slot here would be Lore Weave, but I personally don't like Lore Weave when I can have a KM, because we have the opportunity here to have a KM. Our damage is around 2. Without shocking our damage, with Frenzy Charge up, it's like close to 3 million. It's insane. Check the pace bin. So I don't need Lore Weave to update my damage with, let's say, a Ancestral War Chief. There's other combo you could do, but KM is nice. It gives us fire damage upgrade, and it gives us 500 life. I don't see what could be better. Lore Weave will give us crit, so that's a plus. It will give us elemental resistance, but as you will see in the video, I never die, or almost never die. If I do die, it's my fault. It's because I've been stupid, but the build's so strong already. I don't see why you would break your head trying to get a Lore Weave 6 link in there. Belt of the Deceiver. Okay, here's a choice you can make. Some people like Tom Fist. I don't, unless you get 2 Abyssal Jewel. I think this combo is better because we can get attack speed on our gloves, which is a great DPS increase and quality of life. 22% of physical damage converted to fire. This is one of the things that makes the build another quality of life good, because if you don't have this, doing elemental reflect is average. Okay, so I prefer this to Thumb Fist and a yellow belt. And Belt of the Deceiver, the difference between that and a 2x belt, since you intimidate enemies, is ridiculous. Like, it's going to be so low, and you're going to see Shaper die within seconds. There's no point getting more damage and breaking your head trying to bounce stuff. Just take a Belt of the Deceiver. Boots is where we're getting most of our resistance, so you put it on there. I personally decided to get my resistance in Jewel. You could probably punch the 3 million DPS threshold if you get good gloves with good resistance, so you wouldn't have to put the resist I had to do on my jewels. You could just go full damage. For the jewels, I'll show you real quick. You go for critical strike multiplier on fire skill, critical strike multiplier on one end melee weapon. If you can get those two with increased maximum life, it will be your best. In my case, I took the resistance on my jewel instead of buying a more expensive pair of gloves. That's up to you guys. Okay, so this is the build for the Flasks: Diamond, Lion's Roar, Wise Oak, Silver. You get your Bleed, your Freeze, and your Remove Curse somewhere. That's all you got to do. This build is going to be perfect to do nasty mods. In the video later, you're going to see some Minotaur kill and some, I think, a Hydra kill I will put on that had some nasty mud. If I remember, the Chimera I did, Chimera, sorry. The Chimera I did had increased damage mods, really nasty on the map, and I died to a snake that did some chaos damage, I think, on me, but Chimera itself didn't phase me at all. And it was a really nasty mud. So and same thing for the Minotaur. That's some pretty nasty, stupid mud. And I still managed to beat them up without using any portal. Just try it out, guys. It's insane. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the items, the gear of the build. I will show you the gem real quick. Please check the paste bin for anything, or pause the video because I don't want to spend a 30-minute video. It's already been too long. Melee physical damage, conk effect, elemental damage with attack, tectonic slam, of course, combustion, and multi-strike. Don't take elemental focus. You need combustion. Okay, if you take elemental focus, you will not be able to proc your ignite, and this thing won't work. Also, some of you might ask why we're not using the gluttony belt. Simple. If we want to achieve the perma immortal strike thing, immortal call thing, the gluttony belt will prevent any physical damage done. The immortal call will prevent any physical damage done to us, and the gluttony belt effect won't apply because it reflects only physical damage, and you're immune, so you won't get any endurance charge. Or tectonic slam won't be able to proc as often. You won't have all your elemental and chaos resist. Okay, so bear with me there. You need that's why we need the Eyes of Innocence. And probably some of you are going to be like, hey Gorst, why not Maku's Embrace or something to ignite yourself? I don't want to ignite myself. The difference in damage is stupid. 60% increased damage while ignited. Try it in the paste bin. It's crap. Like Path of Building showed me, the little bit of damage I'm going to get from getting ignited with this item is not going to make up for all the things I gotta put in and leave and tweak. Like, it's not worth it. Igniting yourself is not going to be worth it. And the 2% of fire damage leeches life, I tried it. Like, you won't feel it because you already leech at your max cap with the damage you do. So there is absolutely no use. The only thing this amulet does is reflect fire damage to you, so you make sure you're always stopped. That's all it does. And it makes most of the build. Alright guys, so I will keep on with the gem. Immortal Call, increase duration, cast when damage taken. Go for level 1. I tried up to level 9. It's doable, but it doesn't proc as often, and you're gonna get 1 more second on your immortal call. Not worth it. Keep it level 1. Here you're supposed to have an assassin's mark, okay? All the video you see, I did them without my assassin's mark, and I still melt everything, but it's nice to have because if you kill a mob during a boss fight, you might get a power charge, which will boost your DPS insanely. So assassin's mark there. You can play enfeeble, but you're tanky enough. It's up to you. All right. If you're struggling and leveling and whatever, you can play enfeeble. It's up to you. Faster attack, whirlwind blade, war banner, fortify. War banner is popping adrenaline, which is insane for 2 seconds, which is enough to kill any boss. This thing is broken. They will probably nerf it soon. Why are we using whirlwind blade instead of leap slam? Again, up to you guys. You see my map speed with this thing. I think I'm as fast as a poet spin build or close to. It's very, very fast. Leap slam nerf right now. The state of leap slam, in my opinion, it's not good enough. The fact that you can leap through obstacle is not good enough. The maps which you will actually be faster with leap slam are pretty low in numbers, so I prefer to use whirlwind blade, and we can do it because we're playing a sword, so I would use that. Ancestral War Chief, Herald of Ash, Blood Rage, Herald of Purity. All right, always use the Val Ancestral War Chief if you can. It's boosts your DPS by a lot. So that's it for the build, guys. I will show you passive real quick and then we're done. Don't go for unyielding, okay? I've seen a lot of Tectonic Slam builds go there. We don't need the stun to generate our endurance charge. I told you 10 times, so I hope it sticks there. You don't need to stun. Your Eyes of Innocence is going to proc your endurance charge, so screw unyielding. The increase of area of effect is barely noticeable. You don't need it, okay? What you want is unrelenting. We don't need a physical damage reduction, but the elemental one is pretty nice, and the chaos resistance is what we're looking for. Otherwise, we have no chaos resistance. All the video I've been done with nothing unlock on my Soul of Urakali, okay? Normally you want this, but you don't need to, but I like it, and I just wrecked everything, so there was no point for me unlocking everything. I went into Shocking Ground maps, stayed in the Shocking Ground, and still they couldn't hit me. All right, so this is the build. I hope you like it. Try it, guys, for a league starter. It's going to be great. Some of the uniques in there could be tossed aside, and you can still do up to the Guardians before you need them. So try this build. It's insane. It's the strongest one I've done in Betrayal League. Enjoy Tectonic Slime while it lasts, because I think they will nerf the area of effect in the next league. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it, and we're up for the video of my Shaper kill, my Chimera kill, and my Minotaur kill.
Cold and sees the world as one. Falling through a cloud of fire. They see me on my funeral pyre. Dead talking whispers to me.